Have you ever noticed a child who's always fine, never complains, never asks for much, and somehow never gets noticed either? Not the loud one, not the troublemaker, just the quiet kid in the background who learned very early that staying invisible was safer. Today, we're talking about the psychology of the ignored child, and trust me, this goes deeper than it sounds. An ignored child isn't always a lonely child in the obvious way. Sometimes they live in a full house. Parents are present. Food is on the table. School is paid for. From the outside, everything looks normal. But emotionally, that child feels like a background app running but never opened. Here's the first thing people misunderstand. Being ignored doesn't always mean being unloved. It often means being unnoticed. Busy parents, distracted caregivers, a household where loud emotions get attention and quiet ones don't. So the child learns a simple rule: if I don't ask, I won't be disappointed. Ignored children often become extremely independent, not because they want to, but because they have to. They stop asking for help, stop sharing feelings, stop expecting comfort. You'll hear people say, "Wow, they're so mature for their age." What they really mean is, they learn to survive alone too early. There's a bit of dark humor in this. Ignored kids grow up knowing how to make their own snacks, solve their own problems, and emotionally parent themselves, but still panic when someone genuinely asks, "Are you okay?" Because no one ever asked that before and actually meant it. Psychologically ignored children often develop one of two personalities. Some become people pleasers. They try to earn attention by being useful, helpful, perfect. They grow up thinking love must be deserved. Others go the opposite way. They withdraw. They become emotionally distant, reserved, and tell themselves they don't need anyone anyway. Neither is random. Both are coping strategies. Another common trait: hyper-awareness. Ignored children learn to read rooms extremely well. They notice tone changes, mood shifts, and unspoken tension. When attention is rare, you become an expert at predicting it. That's why many ignored kids grow into adults who feel responsible for everyone else's emotions but struggle to understand their own. Let's talk about confidence, or the lack of it. Ignored children often doubt their own importance. Not loudly, quietly. They don't think, "I'm worthless." They think, "I don't matter enough to take up space." So they hesitate. They minimize themselves. They apologize for existing. Even when they're talented, smart, or capable, something inside them says, "Don't be too much." Relationships can be tricky too. Ignored children often feel deeply but show very little. They crave connection, but fear being overlooked again. So they keep emotional distance. Or they settle for less than they deserve because any attention feels better than none. Here's the most important thing. The ignored child doesn't disappear. They grow up. And that unmet need for recognition doesn't vanish, it just changes form. It shows up as burnout, people-pleasing, emotional numbness, or constantly feeling empty for no clear reason. But there's good news. Awareness changes everything. When someone realizes, "Oh, I wasn't broken. I was just unseen," healing begins. Ignored children don't need to become louder. They don't need to prove their worth. They need to learn something radical. Their feelings matter even when no one is watching. So if this video feels a little too familiar, hear this clearly. You were never invisible. You were just surrounded by people who didn't know how to look.